Have you ever dreaded planning your trips? Well, that is about to change right now. Hi, I'm Aaron with Big Tiny World Travel, a world travel expert from the United States. I travel with my wife Brianna, the co-founder of Big Tiny World Travel. I love travel, and ever since I took my first international trip in 2015, I would consider myself a travel addict. Japan was the first country I visited, and I learned a lot from that experience. Planning a trip to Japan took a lot of time, probably months, for just a 2-week trip. I was so concerned about the language barrier, what the Japanese would think about me, and that I might get lost or even have trouble getting around. I loved dreaming about Japan, but I didn't want to deal with all the logistics. I could hire a travel agent, but then I would be living someone else's dream and not my own. I wanted the freedom to be flexible and get what I wanted from the trip. I love culture, and this was an important aspect I wanted to include in this trip. I also didn't want to be completely on the tourist track, doing paid tours and spending a lot on less meaningful experiences. I like to have purpose in my travels. I dreaded the planning part, but still had a successful trip. I've learned a lot since then, but the most important lesson is that travel planning doesn't have to be overwhelming or stressful. In fact, all of the things I was worried about in Japan didn't come to fruition, and I had an amazing time there, got around just fine, and even met some locals. After making so many rookie mistakes 20 countries later, I've learned that travel planning can be very simple, even for a more complicated trip like our 9 months around the world. One key thing I learned while traveling long term is that you can get really good at planning trips on the fly. When we scored our free stay in Istanbul, I was able to quickly plan out our 2 weeks with enough flexibility for downtime, seeing off the tourist track destinations, and still hitting some of the main attractions of the city. We met locals, sampled local cuisine, and found some more meaningful experiences there. And planning all of this took about an hour or two. We were living like locals in a city we had never been to, that speaks a different language, and we had no trouble at all. I want to share some of our earlier trip planning rookie mistakes so you can avoid them yourself. If you stay to the end, I have an exciting announcement to make. One of the main rookie mistakes we made was to try to pack too many things into each day. In Japan, we were exhausted, walking over 10 miles each day and hitting up as much as we possibly could before we had to crash hard in our hotels. We had the only here once mentality that led to extreme burnout. Try to balance your activities with rest time so that you can have a more balanced trip. You want to enjoy your travels. You don't have to plan every minute. Be spontaneous and go see things off the tourist track. You never know what you may find. Another rookie mistake I'm guilty of is overpacking. The more stuff you have on you, the more it will cost to transport it on airlines, and this also makes it harder to manage. During our world trip, I had just carry-on with one larger backpack that could fit in the overhead and a smaller day pack with my camera gear. That's it. If we could manage 9 months abroad with that, so can you. The last common rookie mistake we made was having a short layover during connecting flights. We had our share of running through airports. It is not only embarrassing, but it is possible that you may miss your flight entirely. I prefer slightly longer layovers and spend that time getting a meal or enjoying our Priority Pass lounge access, so we are never bored and have an enjoyable experience while we wait. This also ensures we make our connections when there are flight delays. Now for our big announcement. I'm going to show you how we plan a trip to a mystery international destination, somewhere we haven't been to yet, to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how we plan our trips during our upcoming Cockpit sneak peek. We created a travel planning system that can help you enjoy planning your trips and take away the overwhelm and stress so you can get on with the traveling. With some of our money-saving tips, you can spend more on the things that matter and less on the things that don't. I hope to inspire you and walk you through our process for planning trips. During this sneak peek, I will use all of the techniques we have in our takeoff course that will help you plan a more meaningful trip and save money while doing so. I will cover different elements of the logistics in 5 short live videos throughout the week, helping you easily book flights, pick the best lodging, prioritize your activities, choose an affordable budget, and so much more. This easy step-by-step process can be applied to a trip anywhere, even in your own backyard. I used to be so overwhelmed and stressed about planning trips, but this has changed with more experience. Near the end of our world trip, I was confident in my abilities to plan trips and did it on the fly. It is much easier than you think and so much cheaper if you have the right tools. Join me and simplify your trip planning skills in just 1 week. You can join us at planbesttrips.com. We will have replays available if you're not able to attend each session. Hope to see you there. Let's take off together.